TV. All right, guys, to start today's show off, Ms. Tatiana Whitlock is joined by Tony Lambrea of UTM.
Hi, folks. I'm Tatiana Whitlock with Trigger Time TV, and I'm joined today by Tony Lambrea of UTM. We're going to discuss a product line we're going to be using a lot this season, Ultimate Training Munitions. Tony, can you tell us a little bit about what the product line is as a whole?
Sure. It's a training system, basically, that you can convert real firearms and use training munitions in those real firearms. It gives you full function. It gives you the opportunity to actually train in any environment, 360 degrees, but you're using your own firearms.
Wonderful. And obviously, this is not paintball. This is not airsoft. The purpose of this equipment is to give you as close to the real thing as possible in an environment that's radically different than the range, in the places and spaces we work in, we live in, whether you're law enforcement, military, or a civilian. Learning how to deal with home invasions, concealed carry situations, perhaps something awful that happened in your office space. And it gives you the ability to do this safely with non-lethal ammunition. Tony, can you tell us a little bit about the difference between the blue guns you have here and conversion kits? You mentioned people could use their own guns.
Sure. We've been in the military and law enforcement industry for a long time, obviously just going into the civilian arena now. But if you look at it, they have trained pistols. The blue indicates, obviously, it's a training weapon. And all we do is we convert the barrel and the slide, or just a barrel. And then it turns into completely safe, just a training gun. If you had for example, this is a conversion kit for a 17, 22, 31, 34, 35. All those frames are the same size. So all you gotta do is change out the slide and barrel, put the spring back on, and then you're shooting our training munitions. And the great thing about it is once you convert this, it is completely safe. It's a live round lockout. Once this is converted, you see the blue indicators on here, it will not fire live ammo anymore.
I get that question all the time when we're talking about working with this gear. Is it possible for someone to sneak a live round in one of the firearms? And the answer is no. It's physically built in a manner where a live round cannot chamber and cannot cycle.
That's correct. And you can always make an accident can happen where you actually sneak one in, but it will not seat, it will not fire from it. So even if you put it into the gun, it's not going to fire.
And this is compatible with handguns and with ARs.
That's correct. On the rifles, it's actually a bolt carrier group. So you take your live bolt carrier group out, you put the UTM bolt carrier group in, and you can see the blue indicator on the rifle. Dust cover doesn't close, so you can always see the blue. It changes from a center fire to a rim fire. That means that 3mm offset, even if you intentionally put in a live round, it will not fire.
So, great segue. Let's discuss the different types of ammunition options we have. Different training options for handgun and for carbine to achieve different goals.
Sure. The silent blanks we have are, basically they'll cycle the firearm. They'll lock back. Everything will be exactly the same on your firearm, but there's no emissions, no gas, nothing coming out. You have battlefield blanks, which are your noisy ones. They'll cycle, but they give you a loud pop. And then you have the marking cartridges that actually will come out and either mark a target, or if you're in case of doing force-on-force against a person, it'll mark the person.
Wonderful. Handgun and rifle. We've got lots of options. Look for this to be throughout this season of Trigger Time TV. We're going to be incorporating as much real-world environments and actual use of safe training aids like these to give you real environments, situations, places where you would have to engage as a civilian, law enforcement or military, with your firearm. We're going to eliminate that artificiality of the range and give you a real environment to work in. There's also the other half of the equation, which is because this is safe to train with other people, you can't just shoot people without some kind of protection. So we're talking about protective gear for force-on-force training. That all exists, right? It's part of the package?
Yes.
Fantastic. Train in the context of your life for the fight of your life.
Trigger Time TV is brought to you by Genetic Development Group. Lock Perfection. Bravo Company Manufacturing. Bravo Company USA. Innovative Gunfighter Solutions. G-Code Holster. SIG Electro-Optics. Zero Tolerance Knives. Primary Weapon Systems. Silencer Co. Lucid Optics. Velocity Systems.
provided by Precision Delta.